Today, I thought I wanted to dive into what has been talked about with Mortal Kombat. As of this week, I've been looking up online and seeing a bunch of stuff from the game that weren't that great. I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to see what people have been complaining about and what's got people having such mixed emotions. And I wanted to share light on some of the controversies and try to find some common ground that what's been happening with the game with an open mind. So the main things that I noticed about this game that people have been talking about was the fact that people have been saying that Mortal Kombat 1 on the Nintendo Switch is a ripoff. Also showing the graphical differences between Mortal Kombat and gameplay as on the Series X or the PS5. People have also been complaining about the voice acting, and also people have mentioned the fact that it seems like a downgrade compared to MK11, and the fact that people are also having issues with the fact that you have to pay $100 to play the game 5 days earlier, which people are saying is a horrible trend. So I wanted to tackle these things one by one, and I will say that I have not played the game yet. I was also trying to stay away from spoilery stuff because of the fact that, I wasn't going to pay $100 to play the game 5 days earlier. I do have personal issues with that as well. I just wanted to just stay away from all the content because I'm pretty sure there's already character endings, the cutscenes, fatalities, everything in the game is shown if you paid $100 for it, which is a little unfortunate. I guess the first thing I wanted to talk about was the graphics comparison between the PS5 and the Nintendo Switch. I feel like if you got a Nintendo Switch thinking you were going to get the same gameplay that was going to be shown on a PS5, you would be I don't want any beef, as Idris Elba would say.
I don't want no beef. Okay.
Like, I don't want, it's just, if the game is not on PS4 and Xbox One, why would you think the graphics would compare to a Nintendo Switch, which has been around alongside the PS4 and the Xbox One? And from what I've read from people talking about it, it seems like the game does run smoothly. It just looks a little bit chopped compared. It looks a lot chopped compared to the PS5, but if it runs smoothly, then I honestly don't think it's a problem. I would say that it would make sense that people would be annoyed because you're paying the same price for the game on Switch than PS5. And I did see someone post that they wish that the game went for maybe a different art style if they were going to ship it on handheld. Honestly, I wouldn't think NRS would probably try to do something like that. It seems like it would take them a lot of time, especially if they would want to release it alongside the Mortal Kombat game. So I understand why they didn't do that. It just makes sense that if there are graphical differences between new gen and old gen consoles, so it would make sense that it wouldn't look as good as it would for the PS5. The next thing I wanted to talk about was all the customization that was in Mortal Kombat 11 and them comparing it to the customization that's in Mortal Kombat 1. I would say from what I've seen, again, I have not played the game, it doesn't seem like there is a lot of customization compared to MK11, but also at the same time, I've personally played MK11 and I know that it's not very easy to get those customizations. There was a lot of grinding, there was a lot of going in certain places. Even just to get a character without a mask took a long time, and maybe they just wanted to go have a more simplified route to things, especially since it's a reboot to the game. I understand a lot of people's issues saying that a game should constantly improve throughout the years, and I do feel like the game is improving. I just feel like they're moving into a different direction, like adding tag combat, for instance. Another thing I also wanted to mention was that people are hating at Megan Fox, saying that her voice acting in the game is not good, and basically what I just have to say to that is this isn't new. I'm pretty sure everyone remember Ronda Rousey when she was the voice actor for Sonya and other character voices that were added into the game later on. Celebrity voices typically aren't as great, and I don't know why people are acting like this is brand new. Mighty Keith tweeted, "No hate towards Megan Fox, but this was such a wild direction for them to go in. Feels like they just hired a big name celebrity to just be there. You would expect this to be a bad game trying to push as many sales as possible. Not fucking iconic ass Mortal Kombat LOL. Literally, Ronda Rousey was in Mortal Kombat 11. So this isn't new. I just feel like this isn't something new to be complaining about. Celebrities are sometimes in Mortal Kombat games, sometimes they're not good, but sometimes they could be good. Another thing I would say would be the character roster. As what I've seen, obviously the character roster is not as big as what was shown in Mortal Kombat 11, which is unfortunate, but at the same time, realistically, when people play fighting games, they normally stick between one or two, I would say 2 to 3 different characters in the first place. Unfortunately, there's less options, but I feel like they still kept the core amount of characters, but you still have characters like Stryker and Sonya who are special characters, so maybe it's not as bad as some would think. But I will say it's a little hard for me to talk about this subject in particular because I haven't really played the game, but I know in Mortal Kombat 11 the only characters I used was Jade and Frost. Unfortunately, I know that Frost is in the game, but she's not a character you can actually play as. She's like a tag character. Well, I'll just have to see how my feelings change on the matter when I actually get my hands on the game. And I guess the last topic I saw people complain about was the fact that you had to pay $100 to get the game 5 days early. I do agree with that sentiment. I really don't like the fact that you have to do that, especially in fighting games where it's more rewarding when you learn how to play games. You learn how to fight as a character, you learn movesets and a bunch of other stuff, and I feel like people who played 5 days earlier will have a stronger advantage versus people that play quote unquote day one. And I'm not sure if ranked is in the game or not, but if it is, that would be also a bad thing, but I'm assuming it's not. It would make sense for that not to be the case. And I feel like in terms of playing the campaign, playing like getting character endings, like playing characters, seeing what characters like, seeing what character matchups you can do with like the tag system, people would just have a stronger advantage playing it when you pay $100. But I also saw people complaining about aspects in the game that I mentioned, but then in what they were saying, they were also mentioning like, oh, I had to pay $100 for this game and such, and it's kind of like technically you didn't have to pay $100. Like if you just wanted to wait and you can enjoy the game when it's available for everyone else. So I feel like if you paid $100 for the game and you're disappointed with it, and one of your disappointments is that you paid $100 and it's not like MK11 or it's not as beefy as MK11 is, then I feel like that's just unfortunate on your part since you couldn't wait. Like you had to get it day one. And I've seen posts, people saying like, oh, Mortal Kombat 1 day one is amazing and a bunch of other stuff on it too, but at the same time I wouldn't really call it day one because the only people that's playing the game are people who paid $100 for it or NRS gave them a copy of the game. So this is still very much early access, I would say. But those are the complaints, or like those are the hate that I've heard about this game since it recently came out in early access, and I want to know what you guys think about it too. Honestly, I feel like some complaints that could be negated would be Megan Fox voice acting and Mortal Kombat 1 graphics from Nintendo Switch to PS5 based off what I've already mentioned before. But I can understand stuff about the character roster and don't like the fact that you had to pay $100 to play the game early access. And apparently that trend isn't going away with Lies of P also coming out, and Starfield did it as well. So this might be something that could happen more often than not. I just hope that it wouldn't happen for a game like, let's say, Call of Duty, in terms of everyone wanting to, you know, become prestige and get all the guns and camos and all that. If Call of Duty did something like that, it would be terrible. It would be terrible for the Call of Duty community. But I'm getting off track. These have been my main complaints that I've been seeing on the internet regarding around Mortal Kombat 1, and I would love to see what you guys have to say on the matter too. I know the game comes out in 2 days for everyone, and I will be streaming that live on Twitch at SpaceManNoHelmet. If you're interested and want to watch me play that, I would hope you do. I hope you like this video, and I hope you want to stick around. Also, I made a gaming music video on Mortal Kombat 11 a couple years ago. I will try to put that on a box towards the end of the video if you would want to check that out, just because I don't know if I would make another one for this game. I feel like those type of videos kind of came around like the times, but if you guys would want to see one, then I would probably try to make one. But that's pretty much all I have. I would love to see your thoughts about it in the comment. Let's have a discussion, let's talk, and hopefully I will see you guys in another video, or hopefully I'll be able to see any new people on stream. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and have a good rest of your day, night, week. weekend, you know, whatever. Talk to you guys later. Goodbye.